Hey guys, how's it going? You're watching Jeep Stuff, and welcome to my 97 Jeep Cherokee project, episode 7. Today, we finally get to do it because I got rid of those locker nuts. We're replacing these tires and wheels for the all-terrain black ones that I have from my old Jeep WJ. Voila! And they are on. No, that's not going to be the whole video. I'm going to paint them and clean them off and stuff. But yeah, I got these on, and they're driving a whole lot smoother already. As you can see here, the paint's starting to chip a little bit, so I'm going to paint them up and make them look nice and fresh. The old tires also, I think, were time for them to switch because around 55 or 60, I'd get kind of a beginning of death wobble, nothing too intense, but your wheels are going back and forth a little bit. But as soon as I put these new all-terrains on, there's no more death wobble. They ride a lot smoother, you don't feel the bumps as bad. Another thing I'm going to be working on is that sound that I mentioned in the last video that I think part of it is the tires rubbing. When I turn, that's when it happens. So I think it's right there that they're rubbing, and I'm going to grind this down on both sides and spray them with some Rust-Oleum. I'm also going to do that with the bumper, though I think the main part of that sound wasn't the transfer case after all. Luckily, I didn't break it open trying to figure it out. I think it was this exhaust pipe snapped, and it's sitting right on the transfer case skid plate. And I think when I'm speeding up and slowing down, it begins to rattle the exhaust really bad. So I'm going to mount that up later. But anyways, back to the tires. So I think what I'm going to do is just clean them off one at a time. And while the paint dries, I'm going to clean off the other and then just keep going in a circle till I get around the entire Jeep. Alright, I now cleaned it off with some wipes and some soap and water, nothing crazy. Now I'm going to take the wheel off, jack up the Jeep, paint the tire, and then move on. Alright, first tire's off. I'm going to go ahead and mask around, and then I'm going to use this trim paint for the wheels. And it's got an XJ on it, so it's perfect. Alright, I now masked it off. I'm sure I'll end up getting a little paint on there anyways with my luck, but let's go ahead and spray it. And as you can see, the wind is the worst thing ever. So. Alright, first tire's painted. I'm going to let that dry while I clean off the next tire, and then I'm going to do all the rest of them, and I'll get back to you. Alright, last tire, and while that one dries, I don't have anything else to clean, so I'm going to paint this bumper. Alright, everything's painted and remounted on, and I think I like them. The black looks really good. I mean, those tires are a little muddy compared to the black on the rim, but I mean, it's a Jeep, so it's going to get muddy. So I'm liking it, and I think the bumper with that fresh paint looks good. I just have to tear off the masking tape. Alright, so now for what I think is the exhaust pipe noise. You can see I've got like a 1/16 of an inch maybe between this exhaust pipe and this transfer case skid plate. And so when I'm driving and this thing is snapped, the sound's going to be loud and awful. So that mount is still there and connected, but it is very corroded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some metal plumber's tape and then use self-tappers onto the unibody. Alright, so I've been looking down here for something safe to mount it to on the unibody, and there's this hollow piece right here that I think will work fine because it's metal, and yeah, so I'm going to wrap the plumber's tape right around the exhaust pipe, push it up, and then self-tap it in. Alright, now that the backside is mounted up, I'm I'll do the one by the transfer case skid plate. I'm going to try to do it just into here. I'm going to see if I can get it underneath the seat. Yeah, I checked and I can get it right underneath the seat right there. Just have to push it up and do the same thing I did on the back. Unfortunately, as you'll see, I end up covering the camera with my arm and pushing it. So you don't really see me do it, but it's the same thing. Put 2 self-tappers in with the plumbing tape, push it up, and it's good to go. Alright, so I've got them both in now, and as you can see, the exhaust pipe is up a lot more, at least half an inch, I think. A whole lot better than what it was at least. So that's great. And as you can see, the back side is mounted up too, and it's at the top of that corroded mount, which means it's up higher, and that's what I wanted. Hell yes. So I just took the Jeep for a drive. It's the little test drive that I've been taking to try to diagnose what that sound was. It made me think it was the transmission or the transfer case or something. But it was, sorry, I'm excited. I went on that route. There's lots of bumps, there's a train track, it's lots of turns which cause it. No sound. I mean, the exhaust is now mounted to the unibody floorboard. So the exhaust sounds a little louder, but I'm gonna end up putting insulation and carpeting in here, plus I'm going to do the have a mechanic, because I don't want to mess with it, do a exhaust leak fix, because clearly mine's loud and you can smell it. But that sound is no longer there. I accelerated, I went slowed down, slammed on my brakes, everything. It's great. Another thing I noticed, that the transmission went out on my last Jeep, and I had to turn off the ignition and go because it was kind of like, oh fuck, you know, but it didn't do that. It turned off and perfect. And I think that sound wasn't the transmission, it was the exhaust going. So yeah, I'm so hyped. It's a lot less expensive. So yeah, all I did was zip up some self-tappers with some of that plumber's tape, and I'm good to go. That's awesome. Successful day. Finally got those all-terrain tires on. They're a lot smoother. No more wobble, no more sound. I'm going to sand down those little bars. Can't think of what they're called right now. Where the tires are rubbing. I did that on my WJ, and then spray them with some Rust-Oleum spray paint so that they won't rust. But awesome. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 8 of this 1997 Jeep Cherokee project. I've been having so much fun with it, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better, so stay tuned. Bye!